I'm Mike Sullivan. So often when we practice golf, we're thinking about positions. We're thinking about what our body is doing during the golf swing. But today we're going to talk about a way that you can practice where you're learning how to control the ball flight. When I say that, I mean learning how to control the club path as well as the club face. So often when we're practicing, when I talk to my students, they're thinking about positions while they're practicing. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to learn this move that they feel is automatic. But what I'd like to do now is I'd like to talk a little bit more about learning to control your club face and the path that your club swings on so that you can control ball flight. And if you can start to control ball flight, meaning if you can hit a hook on purpose and you can hit a slice on purpose, then you're going to start to build skills that are going to help you play a lot better. So here's one way that we can do it. So what we've got here is I've got a chalk line on the ground that you can go ahead and you can see here. So what I do is I just use one of those chalk line things at Home Depot. And I did this not because it's necessary to practice with one of these lines, but so that we can explain what happens when we hit a draw. So when we hit a ball that for a right-handed golfer starts to the right a little bit and draws back to the left, what's happening is my club face here, as it comes through and strikes the ball, it's actually making contact, usually with a slightly open club face. So it's making contact with the inside quadrant of the ball. And as my club, I'm going to move this ball, as my club comes through, it moves outside the target line a little bit and then closes through. And what's happening is the ball actually stays on the club face for a certain period of time. So the ball, the spin axis of the ball changes a little bit. It is not a dead backspin. It is not the ball spinning backwards like this. The axis of rotation gets angled a little bit, and this would be a ball that would curve a little bit right to left. Just like an airplane. If you think about how an airplane works, when your airplane wings kind of tilt this way, think of that as the axis of rotation. That's going to give us a draw. A fade would go more this way. For a right-handed golfer, starts from left and moves to right. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to work on hitting a draw. And again, I'm thinking about getting that club to go ahead and come from the inside of the target line. The club face is going to close as it moves out to the right a little bit. Now, I just talked about making this be a control thing. So this is something we have to learn. I can't just explain it to you and then have it all work out perfect for you. So we're going to try this. So here we go. After I hit this shot, we're going to look up at our launch monitor so you can see what that ball flight would have done. So we're going for a ball. It's going to start a little bit out to the right and draw back to the left. Okay, that ball I believe started right. It's not drawing though. So that's a situation where I did not get my path the way I wanted it to be. Okay, and if you look over at our numbers here, you can see the ball did launch a little bit to the right, but I did not get enough of that path going from in to out to get to draw back. So we're just going to try it again, and this is why we practice. So here we go. So I'm going to get this club coming from the inside with a little bit more of an in to out swing path. There we go. All right, so if we look up at our sky track, you see that ball started off actually kind of square, kind of straight, and drew back into the left. So this is going to be a drill. This is going to be a drill that I'm going to do to practice to get the feel of learning to control my swing path and my club face. Okay, so now I'm going to try to hit a ball. It's going to fade. So that ball, the club is going to come from outside the target line, cutting across, and I'm going to feel like, as I'm hitting this ball, I'm going to feel like the heel is actually leading the club face. So my club is going to actually come a little bit out to in, and I'm going to be making contact actually on the outer quadrant of the ball over here. So let's try that fade. There we go. Okay, so that ball, as we look up here, we're going to see the club face is open relative to the path, okay? And the club face is actually square to the target line, but the path went this way, right to left, out to in, and that put a spin on the ball, made the spin axis tilt to the right, which gave us that fade type of a ball flight. Now you may find as you do this that you are more comfortable hitting a draw or you're more comfortable hitting a fade. So this is good information to have so that you can get on the golf course and you're strategizing how you're going to play. You're going to want to use the shot that you hit better, the one you hit more comfortably. So if you practice and you find, like for my situation is I used to be a slicer. I used to fade the ball. So I worked really hard to learn to hit a draw. So now when I have to hit a fade, I don't like hitting a fade. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go for my nice, comfortable draw. And our screensaver went on there, so we're not going to get this on the SkyTrack. Well, that's too bad. That was a good ball there. Okay? And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit a fade. And on this one, I'm going to pick out a target. I've got a little tuft of grass out there I want to cut the ball over to. So now I'm practicing more like I would play a round of golf or play a game of golf. A little cut, a little out to in. There we go. All right. So we already know, probably have a little too much information about what it is we're trying to accomplish with our body and how we're working the club, but sometimes we have to learn to control the path and the club face. If you found this video helpful, please be sure to hit the little thumbs up button for a like. Also, if you subscribe to our channel, each time we do produce a new video, you'll be notified by email.